All right, Black Power. It's the General Sarasu Seti, and I'm black at y'all ass again with this real fucking talk. Black Power family, how y'all doing out there? I'm in the house. Let me get my monitor up. Get my monitor up. We're in the house, family. About to work out today. You know how we do. You know how we do over here. Bang, bang. We're in the house. Gonna be another high-powered platform today. Another high-powered platform today. Got down on the Momax about 4 days ago. Gonna continue forward. Got a lot of very, very exciting topics lined up for the family in the coming weeks. Man, we going into some areas that, motherfuckers ain't never been in before. Guarantee you. We're going to get off into some mysticism. We're going to get off into our divinity. We're in the house. You understand what I'm saying? This is the place to be, if you have not heard. This is the place to be. Most definitely. Today we're going to be dealing with the southern temples of India. We're going to be dealing with the southern temples of India. We're going to be dealing with the temples in Myanmar. We're going to be, which is, used to be Burma. You might not be familiar with it, but it's right on the Bay of Bengal. You know what I'm saying? Which is, right, it's to the east of India. Okay? And then we're going to be dealing with Cambodia, you know what I'm saying, the Philippines, all of that. We're going to be dealing with that because that's us. You understand what I'm, no matter what it look like today, that's us. We can prove it hands down that it's us. And a lot of the ancient megaliths and temples of that area is based off of the same spiritual blueprint of the Nile Valley. Okay, and I'm not here, when I come, I don't come guessing. Nigga, I come shooting. You know what I'm saying? When I show up in this motherfucker, I got nigga extra clips, nigga. I got that shit in here, nigga, that go through the vest. You know what I'm saying? I don't play no games with nothing that I do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people out here, they just shoot. You know what I'm shooting blanks. You know what I'm saying? But you can't come shooting blanks with a nigga with 4, 5 full clips or that shit that go through the vest. You see what I'm saying? I don't play no game. And so, why I do what I do is to empower my people. You understand? With the truth. To empower the legacy of the master teachers that came before me. And not to let them down and carry that baton and hand it off to the next generation like a king supposed to. Too many times we let the legacy of the master teachers and our leaders, get lost, from the coming generations to where they don't know they teachers and they don't know their own prophets, and they get lost in the sauce and shit and blow in the wind any which way the wind blow. And that's not going to be a legacy of General Sarah Soon Say. Okay? I intend to carry this baton and make sure that it get in the hands of the next generation and make sure they off and running. Not just put it in their hand, but make sure they off and running. Now, as I show, if you go back, and all of what I do is a preview. You know what I'm saying? Of course, as y'all see me go through my I got, believe me, I got hundreds of lectures. You know what I'm saying? And so all I give you is a preview, but it's the hardest motherfucking preview that I could give you in the amount of time that's allotted for me. You see what I'm saying? And when you leave each video, you leave with the ammunition to go and do you some extra research on the matter. You understand what I'm saying? And not just, in general information. We talking about advanced information and research. So you can get your ass up and go straight to the internet and do your goddamn research and put, and sit down with your family and your kids and show them this. You know what I'm saying? It's time to do away with the fakes and the phonies. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let me make sure, my G's is in, my moderators is in the house. Let me see how my internet looking. Hold on. Okay. Let me see if I got any of my moderators in the house. I didn't really check. Let me see any of the moderators in the house. So I can go, Del Janko. Well, no need to look any further. Got one of the assassins on the team up there in the chat. So if you slip up, that's your ass. Don't ask for no return visits because it's gonna be over for you. Now let me go on in here and tighten some things up right quick. Where the temple at? We're gonna get busy. That's real talk. We're gonna get busy. Okay, where the knock? Where my knock at? Okay, they'll knock right there. They'll the knock. They'll the knock right there. Okay. We're gonna work this real quick, family. Let me get busy. Close some of this down. I got so many damn lectures open. My goddamn computer be moving slower than a damn snail on a turtle's ass. Close that out. Close that out. I might keep that up because I might have to come back to that. Okay. Let me get to where I need to be, and we about to go in, family. Guaranteed to rock the mind. Okay, let me bring that on down here. Let me bring all that down. Let me bring all that down. So I ain't got to come back up here to that. Because that's a lot of information right there. All right, let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let me share my page and let's get busy. Let me see how I'm looking on my monitor, y'all. We're in the house. I always got to bring these powerful maps up for y'all. Let me get in here. Let me get you up on my monitor so I can go to work. Once I go to work, I want you, stay with me because I'm going to go from video to video. You know what I'm saying? And each one leans on the next. Thank you for your support. I'm saying all that you do for me. Now, you're gonna, when we're studying, when you rocking with the general, we in and out of so many different sciences. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I deal heavily with geography, but I also deal with topography. We deal with geology, oceanography. You understand what I'm saying? We're not just looking and you know what I'm saying? So when you come in here, you dealing with the sciences, the master sciences and arts, or the Nile Valley Africans. We don't come in here just to school put here to deal with what you could take to the university, what you could take back to whatever campus that you own. You understand, if you're a student or whatever campus, from pre-K to 12th grade, all the way into the, the higher stages of miseducation in this so-called Western world. Okay. So what we need to understand first and foremost, that our people are a people of water. You understand what I'm saying? We are navigators. Today we are cultural and spiritual navigators, but soon our people's gonna be back on that water in a major way. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? God, God for the BPC, mean global oceanic domination. Can I say that again for anybody out there? You understand, when I say God and I'm dealing with the BPC, God stands for global oceanic domination. Okay, because that's what we got to have to be the people we was in the ancient world. Okay, anytime you go to a temple in ancient Egypt, in ancient Nubia, you understand what I'm saying? You always see in the Holy of Holies the Ark of Ra, the Ark of Heru. When you look, even if you go to Dendera and you look up in the ceiling and you look at the astronomical constellations of the universe that's in the ceiling of Dendera, you see the nettas, or you see the gods and goddesses traveling on the ark. That lets you know that we've been on these oceans and on these rivers and on these lakes for it's so ancient. We've been doing it so ancient as a people. You understand that it is one with us. Most other deities you see, and I'll show you the comparison, they on chariots. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody else, because they were a landlocked people. You understand what I'm saying? A landlocked people, where our people was a people of water. You see what I'm saying? We are a people of water, yet and still we are a people of the sun. You understand? All the elements are in us. That's why we the complete deity that's walking on this planet here today. And so when we understand, we're going to be dealing. Let me see if I got all my maps in here. Yep, I got them all as we talk today. And come over to this one. When you're talking about the Indian Ocean, and it's not the Indian Ocean, it's the Kushite Ocean, because it was the Kushites who dominated this ocean from the earliest of time. Wasn't even no Indian nowhere on the planet. Okay, that land wasn't even called no damn Indian. You understand? Many of these nations, from goddamn South Africa all the way up to Egypt, from damn Mozambique to damn Australia, is all criminally renamed names for nations that been conquered by colonizers from North Asia and Northern Europe. You understand what I'm saying? So these are not the indigenous names, and sometimes that brings a lot of confusion. You understand what I'm saying? But what you looking at with the yellow nations, and we're going to be dealing with this, because this is serious. I'm sick of people studying shit that don't matter. We got to study this, because this is, other people's understanding. You have to look that this is one of the most powerful waterways on the planet, if not the most powerful waterway. You understand? When you're talking about the oil, you're talking about that the Red Sea is a sea connected to the Kushite Indian Ocean. You understand what I'm saying? So the global trade that come out of this region, you see, people don't even really have to come out of this region. You're talking about some of the richest areas. This is what you call the first world. Africa is the first world, but then the extension of this first world goes east to all the nations that you see, and even further. You understand what I'm saying? But once you go past the nations in yellow, then you go into another area, still, an extension of the first world. You see what I'm saying? So when you're talking about most of these nations in yellow, and you're talking about the Kushite Indian Ocean, majority of the civilizations of Africa, and then from Africa moving east into this area, These areas were highly civilized before there was a Europe. There was no Americas. There was no nations over here. That's ridiculous for anybody to assume otherwise. When you can go and if you just looked at most of the megalithic structures, most of the, the nations, when we talk about nations that's in the top 10, you understand what I'm saying? It's nations in this world view that we looking at right now, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Nubia, whether it's Awesome, whether it's Great Zimbabwe, whether it's, whether it's a Punt, which is Somalia, whether it was, what we call Mesopotamia, which is, today on the Persian Gulf, you got the Red Sea. Then you have what we Naga Kush, which today is called India. You understand? Even going into the extension of Naga Kush and what they call the Khmer Empire, or Angkor Wat, or the Champa, okay, which is an extension of this whole region. We're going to see that the leading nations of the whole world were in Africa, just like today, America, and we must, regardless to whether we hate it or love it, majority of the world follows what America do as a nation, whether it's music, whether it's clothing, whether it's dance, whether it's our slang, and a large reason of that is because of the African genius that is here. You see what I'm saying? So in the ancient world, it was the Nile Valley that was the center of all civilization and culture. You understand what I'm saying? And we can prove it by looking at the great, extension of culture. You understand? Just like, we dealing with, when we went into the Mississippi mound builders, we didn't just look at the mound itself. We looked at the mound complex. You understand what I'm saying? The alignment, the sacred geometry. You understand? People don't just pop up and, this is a sacred geometry that's expressed throughout the world, tracing its origin all the way back to the Nile Valley. Okay, and so today we're going to be looking at the temples in southern India and the west coast of India. Because the west coast is the coast that's facing Africa. If you look right there and you see the Arabian Sea, you see what I'm saying? That's very significant. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can see that Somalia is not that far. And then you got the Mozambique Channel, which is the channel that's going alongside Africa and Madagascar. And you can see that, Madagascar had an ancient, relationship with Naga Kush, which today is called India. You see what I'm saying? Because of the monsoons. The monsoons would bring you right into India. It's a natural occurrence when you're going on the east coast of Africa. The monsoons will also bring you up into today what is called the Persian Gulf. So these were natural areas for our people to migrate to. You understand what I'm saying? Based on the ocean currents. And you got to understand, at the time, my people was going back and forth up into what today is called the Persian Gulf. You know what I'm saying? What today is called India was no Europe. So I don't want to hear nothing about no European goddamn scholars. You understand what I'm saying? Raping the knowledge of Africa. If you wasn't in existence at the time, you ain't got no goddamn right to be teaching. And if you're not the indigenous people of that history, you have no right to be teaching it. So a lot of people, call on white scholars and, and fraudulent, information from these white scholars, you understand, to divert the truth of African people's greatness. You see what I'm saying? And so, even what today we call, what was called Burma, which is the second star, the green nation, which they call Myanmar. Okay, Myanmar. Okay, and you see the third star blinking, which is over, the nation of Vietnam, and Cambodia. You understand what I'm saying? Vietnam in the ancient world was called Champa, while Cambodia was called the Khmer Empire. And they was not just the Khmer, the Mon Khmer, as in monsoons. Okay, to understand that they came across, the Kushite Ocean by way of the monsoons. And so they were called the Mon Khmer. And that's the great temple complex of Angkor Wat, which I'm going to touch on just briefly today. Angkor Wat is a much, it deserves a video unto itself. So we ain't going to go to, but we will highlight Angkor Wat today. And no doubt it's built upon the Nile Valley Sanctuary blueprint. No doubt about it. Okay, no doubt about it. We don't need no fake scholars to bring nothing to us. We already know because it's in our DNA, and all we have to do is activate the DNA of our ancestors that's in our vein, and that science will come right to you. You don't need no European scholar to tell you something that's already recorded in your DNA. And then we're gonna go all the way around into the East China Sea, to the Sea of Japan, okay? And find out that the Naga Kushites even colonized all the way over to what is Japan, and that's gonna be the last video, and each video is connected to the other. So if you're watching them in sequence, it's gonna be a powerful experience for you. And so I'm gonna be moving, not quickly, but I am going to be moving so that I could get you the full understanding of all three. We're going to be talking about the gods that are worshipped in India. This is proof. See, when I show you the pyramid, not just the pyramid, the temple complex, and we're going to show you many of the deities. We're going to even look at the populations documented that were in those areas before the people you see today are just like today. America only 200, 300, 400 years old. You understand what I'm saying? 300, 400 years old. If you go prior to that, it's a whole different world. And then if you go 400, 500 years before that, it's a whole different world. You got to understand the world is changing. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you look over there today and you think, okay, Japan and China, you see the slant-eyed man and woman, you think they always been there, and that's just not true. Their asses was further up north. And a lot of southern, China, India, all the way to Japan, because Japan is only a reflection of Papua New Guinea, Australia, Tasmania. I'm gonna prove that the Philippines, that Japan is only a reflection of that. And so the same little African Negritos or the Twa was up in Japan. I got records of it, and we're going to prove it today. Okay? Now, the one thing why I started was Southern India. You understand what I'm saying? And I got into East India, West India, West Coast of India, when I got into Kalasya Temple and Lalibela temples, which were carved down out of the mountains. And I showed the advanced technology that had been advanced in Africa for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The same technology you see at Lalibela and that you see at the Kalasya Temple, which is at Eleanor, the Eleanor Caves, which is on the let me get this correct, on the west coast of India. You see that technology. You see that technology in the Valley of the Kings, how they carve those deep tombs inside of the mountains at the Valley of the King. And you see it at Abu Simbel, where they carve directly into the mountain. You see what I'm saying? So in southern India, you see the majority of the granite pyramid temples. See, it's in the south. When you see them dealing with the granite and you see them dealing with that, the most ancient of the temples, it's in the south and it's on the west coast of India, that which is facing Africa. That's facts. That's fact. And it's a reason why. You see what I'm saying? And as you can see, southern India, you could go right on across you see Sri Lanka, and there's pyramid on Sri Lanka, but you can go right on across to the Andaman Islands. Okay, what you see, the Africans have been there for 70,000 years, documented. Okay, showing you that from all through the South was the African presence. Okay, was the African presence. You can see that there was a continuous empire, Kushite empire, all the way from the heart of Africa, not just India to the Nile Valley, but even over into Mali, Ghana, and Songhai. You understand what I'm saying? Because I showed you very clearly that the same pyramid temple that you see in India is the exact one in Sanctuaries. The Sanctuaries universe is the same temple. And so you got the Kola dynasty, which was in southern India. And I'm going to show you this one king, Raja, who built one of these what you call granite pyramid temple. And it's the exact temple in Egypt. Don't even doubt it. I'm going to show you that today, empower you. And I want y'all to not just, when we talk, what do we talk? We talk about blueprints. You understand? We're going to get deeper off into the measurements of the temples, deeper off into them, because we are engineers today. You understand? This is pre-engineering. You know what I'm saying? Architectural engineering, pre-oceanic navigation and charting of the ocean. We looking at it first before we get deeper and deeper and deeper off into it, because this is where we got to go. So you got the Chola dynasty, which, is, if you look at the tannish, brownish color in the southern India, this is where that part of the empire ruled. He ruled from the south. And he wasn't just Raja, but his dynasty, his people that came after him are the same bloodline. And from southern India, he took his influence went all into, upper India, into what they call Nagaland, or into Myanmar or Burma, off into even the Andaman Islands. You can see right there in the green that his extension, which means that he was even in brotherhood with the Adamanese people that was there. You understand what I'm saying? And showing you that they were one blood. And you can see even into the southern Thailand, into what today is called Malaysia, Indonesia. We see this. Okay, so that show you that when you see this map and you see that they're coming from Africa to India and coming up out of the Red Sea, coming from southern Africa, southeast Africa, up the Mozambique Channel. You got Africans coming out of the Nile, whether it be Egypt, Sudan, Aksum. You understand? All three, Punt, which is Somalia, trading, and you can see that they go, connecting straight with the west coast of India. You understand? Southern India, you can see as the ocean currents are bringing you directly into southern India. And you can see that the monsoons even bring you around India, the tip of India, into Sri Lanka, as you can see, taking you straight to the Andaman Islands, up into Burma, up into Thailand. Okay, we see this. So when you see how that goes, you see the connection that Africa has with the west coast of India and southern India. Then you see many of the kings with their extension took a lot of the African wisdom and knowledge further. You understand? It wasn't just the Africans of Africa it was the Africans of Naga India that was bringing it on. You can see how their extension into, Southeast Asia, even around into the South China Sea and the Sea of Japan at this time. Now, let's look at these temples. Now, let me see if I got this temple in there. at the top so you can see what temple this belonged to. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Now, I'm gonna, we always, this is the temple of Mentuhotep. Okay, this is Mentuhotep II. Okay, now this temple right here would have been next to the funerary temple of Hatshepsut. It's not, it's still there. The foundation is still there, but the top portion has been destroyed. Obviously, the Arabs and the rest of them invaders have destroyed many temples because it wasn't sacred to them. But as you can see, this is one of the first, this is a temple, a pyramid temple, okay, where it's not just, but it's a pyramid that even the Great Pyramid have temples that are in front of them, and that the smaller temples in India is almost the same as that temple. Is only thing is the pyramid is not as large. Pyramid behind the temple, whereas in the Indian temples, the pyramids is much smaller. So when you look at the diagram of this temple and you look at it from the back all the way, see how it's cut into the mountain? This temple was cut into the mountain. And so if you look all the way to the back, in where the mountains is located, the king's burial is actually into the mountain. You understand what I'm saying? He's buried inside of the mountain. So this is almost like the Valley of the Kings. See what I'm saying? But when you got to the Valley of the Kings, too many of the kings' burials was being robbed. You know what I'm saying? So see this funerary temple and then the king's burial behind the temple is obvious. So if people know how much wealth the king has, they'll try to break into the damn temple and steal the treasures out of it. So when they went into the Valley of the Kings, even though they carved they hid them so that you didn't really know where they was located. Okay, and then again, many people, once they did locate some, they started breaking in and so on and so. And this was at a time where the Nile Valley would begin to go down. And you know what I'm saying? And many foreigners had come into the land. And so the level of morality was beginning to fall. Okay. So let me look at, so when you look at this temple and look at it from the top, okay, when you look at it from the top, you see the platform is actually on the same blueprint as any Egyptian temple. You just see the pyramid coming up through the top. Now at the bottom is a Dravidian temple. Okay, and if you see what they call the Venema, okay, the Venema is the pyramid in front. Now it's actually the back. That's not the front. When you see when you're looking at the temple at the bottom and you see the Venema, that's actually the back. Okay, and it's the same exact blueprint as the Great Pyramids, and I'm gonna show you that. And you're gonna be like, God damn, boy, this boy said it right here, man. I've been studying, I'm family, I've been studying this shit for over 30 years now. Dr. Ben is the one that taught me to study the temples, the blue. If you go in there, Dr. Ben got all the measurements. He the one that put me on the path to studying blue as a priest. A lot of people don't understand I was raised up in the crowd of Amun Ra. So we have to study the temples, the blueprints, the directions of which way the holies and holies is located, this, that, and the third. So when you look at this temple at the bottom, you see the Venema, which is the pyramid, is at the top. That's where the Holy of Holies is located. Okay, that's where if you look up in the front, you see Mandapa. The Mandapa, if you look at the top, is the hypostyle hall. That's the columns. You know what I'm saying? That's an area where, that you walk through is where ceremonies is performed. But usually the mandapa is the hypostyle hall. Okay, now if you go to an Egyptian temple, not this particular temple, it'll usually have a pylon in the front of it, and the Indian temples don't have pylon. Now, if you look all the way to the front, you will see what they call a guporum. A guporum is it's like an entrance, a door, a gateway into the complex. Okay. Now, if you go to most Egyptian temples, they have, the wall around the temple complex, and the gateway to get in there's a pylon, and I'll show you what the pylons is. So the gopuram is the pylon of the Indian temple complex. It's actually the same complex. So if you look at Mentuhotep's temple, you can see that here is basically the same temple. Okay, they switch it up here and there because it's a different code. It's a same bloodline, but just like you go anywhere in the world, people gonna do it their own particular way. Even though the foundation of what they doing is the same, they do it their own way. If you go to look at the skyscrapers in Arabia, they got an Arabian feel and look to them, even though the basic blueprint on how to build a skyscraper is no different from country to country. But the architect going to design it in a way to venerate the culture in which, whichever nation or whichever culture is building the skyscraper. Okay, so as you see, when you come into an Egyptian temple, you see that the first area that you come into is the hypostyle courtyard. You see what I'm saying? And then as you move further and further into the temple, it becomes holier and holier. And so each area is going to be limited access. You know what I'm saying? Many times you can't even come through, the gate. Most of the time, a lot of them temples, they had an open courtyard, and that's where the ceremonies for the public was performed. Now, when you get into the second hypostyle hall, that area, only priests are allowed in that area. The furthest the public might been able to go was the first hypostyle hall. Okay, and then you see the sanctuary is in the back. Now that's where the pyramid is in the Indian temple. Okay, that's where the pyramid is. But see, we're gonna show that the pyramid complex of Egypt is the same as the one in India. Now you can see. Now when you look at the Egyptian pyramid, you see that right in front of the pyramid is a temple. That's the mortuary temple. Okay, so you see that the pyramid is in the back. You see, just like in the Indian temple, the pyramid is in the back. That's the Holy of Holies. Now, in the Egyptian pyramid, the Holy of Holies is the burial chamber of the king or the queen. That's symbolic of the Holy of Holies. And so when you're looking inside the temple in the front, you see, the hypostyle hall. It's really no different than any other Egyptian temple. Okay, it's really no different. So you see at the bottom where you see the mandapa, you see that's the hypostyle hall of the Egyptian temple. Now you see, connected to the Egyptian temple also was a causeway that led down to the funerary temple. So you got two temples connected to this pyramid. So again, you can see that this is the exact. It's exact. It's no different. It's no different. The only thing is that the Africans did it on a much greater level. Okay, let me move forward. Again, looking at it, you see that the Egyptian temple at the back, the Egyptian pyramid temple at the back, the pyramid is at the back, okay, at the top. I'm saying back, I keep saying back. But the Egyptian pyramid complex at the back, at the top, the pyramid is at the back. Okay, just like in Egypt, the Hindu temple, the pyramid is at the back. The temple is in the front. Actually, the same design, except the Egyptian pyramid is much larger. So when you look at the top and you're looking at the Egyptian pyramid and you see what's in front of it, the mortuary temple. Okay, so that's the mandapa at the bottom. That's where the hypostyle hall is located. You understand much of the ceremonies of the last rites of the king takes place in this mortuary temple. And you see in front of that mortuary temple is a causeway. That's that's a long road. You can say a road that leads from this temple down to the valley temple. Okay. So now this is one of the pyramid temples of southern India. Okay, it was built by Raja Raja. Now you see what I'm saying? The pyramid or the Vinamar is actually the back of the temple. That's the Holy of Holies. So when you come to the front, it got a porch. Right there, that's where you enter. You understand what I'm saying? And when you enter into the hypostyle hall. And that hypostyle hall will lead you all the way to the back, which is the Holy of Holies. Okay, now if you came into the mortuary temple, the Egyptian pyramid, you would be in the front of that pyramid and it will lead you all the way to the back to the entrance into the pyramid, which will lead you to the burial chamber of the king or the queen. Now, in that instance, the burial chamber become the Holy of Holies. Now, in the Indian temple, the Naga Kushite temple, it'll have a statue or whatever deity that is being venerated in that temple. Okay? And so we understand that the kings and queens of ancient Egypt were also gods. Now, again, Venema, you see, that's what they call the pyramid, which is, again, when you see the Venema of any Hindu Naga Kushite temple, that's where the Holies of Holies is located. Okay, once you go, now you look right there, you see the Gopuram. Okay, the Gopuram, it's a pyramid. It's a pyramid, but it's the entrance gate. You can see the great wall that's around the temple complex, which is no different than Saqqara. We went over that. I'm going to show you Saqqara, just like I showed you. That was the blueprint for the Olmecs. That was the blueprint for the Mississippi mound builders, because they got it from the Olmecs. The Olmecs brought it from the Nile Valley. No different here. What went east went west. You understand what I mean? Because all was in veneration of the great masters of the Nile Valley. This is why you see so much similarity in the Africans all around the world. The Nile Valley was the central point of all education, technology, culture, and spirituality. Okay, and that was venerated anywhere that the children of the Kushites went on the planet. So when you look at the Gopuram, which is the entrance gate, which is also in the form of a pylon, you see this is an image of Karnak, the great temple of Karnak. And you can see the entrance pylon connected to the walls. I'm going to show you. Dang, I thought I had the whole, let me see if I got the whole. Here you go. Let me bring this up. See, you can see the outer wall that's around the complex, and you see that the pylon, the entrance pylon, is the Gopuram. Okay, that's the symbolic of the Gopuram. And so even the temple wall going around the complex. That come from Africa. Okay, now instead of having a Gopurim, this is the front of Karnak Temple. We got pylons. Okay, front of Karnak Temple, Gopurim of the Indian Temple. Okay, and if you look all the way to the back, if you go right up the middle of the doorway and you see it's like a structure in the back standing, it looked like another wall, another gate. That's where the Holy of Holies is located. You understand what I'm saying? That's actually where the Holy of Holies is located. Okay? So we breaking this down to show you, number one, we done went over it, that the temple complex, the temple itself, the pyramid temple, that's the temple connected to the pyramid, is actually the same from Egypt to India. The only thing is the Vimana is actually very much smaller, and there's no burial of any king or queen in the Vimana. It's a representation of the deity, but the temple itself is actually the same. You see the mandapa, which is the hypostyle hall in front of the Indian temple, in front of the pyramid, is the same as the mortuary temple in front of the giant pyramid of the Egyptians. Okay? Now let me come forward. This is showing you the pyramid acts as, which is not necessary. Let me go forward. I did this. I don't want to keep. Nah, this is called the stamba. Okay, the stamba is a pillar that's in front of the temple. Okay, it acts as the obelisk. You know what I'm saying? When you see the obelisk in front of the temple, this is the stamba. Okay, and it is used to denote pillar or column. In the context of Jain and Hindu mythology, it is believed to be a cosmic column which functions as a bond, which joins heaven and earth. Okay, so when you look in front of the temple, you see the stamba. Okay, and if you know, these are the different styles. You got the Askoan, the Jain, the Hindu, and you know, the various forms of this pillar in front of the temple. Okay, and so when you go to the front of the Egyptian temple, what you see is the obelisk. It's no different. You see what I'm saying? The only thing is the Africans in Egypt usually have two. They don't always have one. I mean two. You know, but usually if it's in front of the temple, normally they will have two to represent the balance of the universe. Okay, feminine and masculine. You see what I'm saying? Up and down. Those are the laws of opposite. Okay. Now, as we showed here, you know, when you go up in the back where the Venema is, and you see back there where the Holy of Holy is, if you look in the back, that you can't see it here. I'll get it. I'll show you next time on a different map. Okay, I'll show you a different map. See, this is the mandapa. This is which leads into the Holy of Holies. So when you get to that door, you know what I'm saying, right there, that's where the Venema will be. That's where the pyramid would be. You would be entering into the Holy of Holies. Okay, now this is Eleanor Cave. Okay, now you going through the mandapa, and then when you go in there, you know, into the most inner sanctuary, right past the mandapa or the hypostyle hall, is where you find the Holy of Holies. Now, this is Abu Simbel. Okay, we touching, baby. We touching. We know we right on. And nobody, see, I don't come where you can't understand. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is, you know, I don't come where you can't see a clear understanding. See, now, this is the hypostyle hall of Abu Simbel. Okay, this is actually Nefertari's temple. Okay, and so in this case, the mandapa would be this hypostyle hall, and right where you go into that last door is where the Holy of Holies in the temple of Nefertari is located, no different as you go through the mandapa of this Indian temple at Eleanor Cave. There you find the deity of veneration and worship. Okay, now I put them side by side. You cannot tell me, and nobody out there cannot tell me that, this is not the same temple design. Okay, this is exactly. So when we say that the African Kushites came, we don't make nothing up. This is right and exact, whether you want to believe it or not. You see what I'm saying? So again, this is Ramesses temple at Abu Simbel. And so if you come through the hypostyle hall, you understand? And that's his hypostyle hall right there to the left. You get in there, you will see that inside of there is the four great deities of Heru, Ramesses, Amen, and Ptah. Okay, let me come on through here. This is a Hatshepsut funerary temple on the third floor. Okay, and this is leading into, but you see right there before you get to the sanctuary or the Holy of Holies, you see the colonnade. Okay, in the Hindu temple, that's the mandapa. Okay, let me come on down so I can see where I'm at. Now, this is Karnak Temple, the Sun Temple of India. Now, how big of a coincidence? Not only do we see the twin lions that we see at Philae, you see it at in Nubia. I got the temples there. I got it. Okay, you see the double lion, which is Akher. Okay, and we're gonna go in that as we deal with the African gods that's worshipped in India. You got Konak, and then you got Karnak. Okay, how big of a goddamn coincidence is that? You see what I'm saying? Even when you listen to much of the terminology, you understand what I'm saying? To show you that the bloodline has come across from Africa to Asia, Asia to Africa. Okay, and you see that the elephant is highly venerated. You understand what I'm saying? In India as well as is venerated in Africa. And you can see that if we go to the temple of Apetamak, you'll see that the elephant, the lion, you understand, even the naga is venerated at that temple. You see, so when we line it up and show you not just the similarities, exact similarities, not just similar. Okay, look, exact similarities. We line it up and we count down damn near 30, 40, 50 different exact similarities. And we know just looking at the mandapa, the hypostyle hall leading to the damn Holy of Holies in the damn, that's debate over with. You know what I'm saying? The debate was over with right there. If it was any debate, ain't no goddamn coincidence. That's an exact replica. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no, let me straighten that up. You got similarities and then you got exact replicas. That's an exact replica. When you look at the temple of India and look at the temple complex, pyramid complex of Africa, it's an exact replica. When you look at the Olmec pyramid complex, it's an exact replica. It didn't change nowhere it went. It stayed the same, even though the architectural style may have changed. The sacred geometry on how the complex was laid out stayed the same. So you see at Karnak, you see another pyramid. You see the veneration of the elephant. And again, you see, now we know that the pyramid is what? That's the Holy of Holies. You see right here, you see the hypostyle hall leading to the Holy of Holies. Okay? Now this is a Pancha temple. I'm not going to even embarrass myself to try to pronounce that. At some point in time, I'm going to try to get it. It ain't going to be today, though. You understand what I'm saying? But we talking about the South, family, and I got the maps to show you exactly what. But you can take this and Google the temples, and you can look up the map location, and it'll show you exactly where it's at. So this is enough. And so these are the granite temples, the pyramid temples in the south. You don't get this up north like that. When you get up north, they get to looking like the Taj Mahal and all of that, with the, you know, the Mongol and the Arab, traditions began to take hold. And then many of these, see, the thing is, when the Mongols and the Genghis Khans and all the Muslims conquered India, because they did conquer India, and they destroyed a lot of the temples of India. They, you know what I'm saying, which the Arabs and the Muslims are known to do. They don't have no respect for shit that's not Islamic. So they destroyed a lot of the temples of India, and many of the ones in the south is of the Nile Valley expression. Okay, and no matter what, even today, they have not come out of that temple complex. Because if you look at goddamn, whether it's St. Peter's or the cathedrals and basilicas of Europe, they are built on the same blueprint as the Egyptian temple. Has not changed. So when I show it, you know, the exact replicas from nation to nation, from culture to culture. It is no doubt. It is no doubt. Okay, this is not something up for debate. Only the Negro, who has other, exterior motives, trying to get you to believe in some fantasy shit, or into some Lemuria, into some Atlantis, into some goddamn aboriginal garbage that ain't gonna lead your ass nowhere, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? When you look at it and look at it from a global perspective, because what I'm showing you is a global perspective. If everybody else have taken from this blueprint, obviously it was the goddamn best. Okay, goddamn, they knew not only was it was the spiritual orientation of the planet. They knew that the Africans was the guardians of the planet and the spiritual energy of the planet. And so they had, it was an honor for them to take from our blueprint and try to make a replica. And no matter how, less of a replica it was, they tried their best to replicate what we did in Africa. And so if the world took from Africa to build everything they got, that's because they knew, goddammit, it was the best. So why would somebody lead you away from what has obviously been taken by the whole goddamn world as a blueprint to establish they goddamn civilization? Come on now, we got to wake up, man, to reality. So when we're looking at this Pancha temple, and I'm gonna move, because we're gonna get to the other, we're gonna get to the other videos, which is gonna add, but I'm not gonna rush through this, but I'm gonna show you this great collection of rock temples of southern India. You see the lion, you see the elephant, you see what I'm saying, which is highly venerated, especially in Nubia and in Egypt, both. Okay, you go right to the Naga temple in the Sudan, and you see the elephants, the replicas of the elephants in the courtyard. You see the lions, because it's a temple of Apetamak. Okay, it's in the temple of Apetamak. And so here it is at the temple of Apetamak. You see the lion, you see the elephant, and I also got the lions in there. You go to the lion temples that video that I put up, and you see that. I don't want to keep going over the same things in every video, just to show you that not only is the temple complex the same, the veneration of the same animals' spirits is the same. These are animal spirits, okay? They're venerating a certain spirit of that animal. The lion was always royal. The elephant was always seen as a symbol of power. And the lion, they take, even when you look at this, the Naga, it's not just a serpent. People say it's the king cobra. Okay, so when you look at all of the great animal spirits, these are the royal animals, the royal spirit in that animal that define what power it emanates. Everybody know the lion emanates, and for them to be in India, again, that's because the lion is indigenous to Africa, not India. The lion was taken to Asia just like a goddamn Rottweiler and a German Shepherd was brought to America from Germany. Those are German bred animals. You see what I'm saying? When you look at the mastiff, the bull mastiff, those are all European dogs that were brought to America. And so no different, the lion was taken into Asia. Okay, and that's why you don't see large populations of the lion in Asia, and you see great numbers in Africa because that's the actual home of the lion. You see what I'm saying? And so again, and in front of most of the temples, what do you see? You see Nandi, and I'm gonna deal with which is the Apis bull. Okay, and which also you got the sacred cow of India, where they is forbidden for you to eat the flesh of the cow. Okay, we're showing you exact replicas of culture and practice. Okay, and so again, you see the elephant, you see the lion, and you see the pyramid. And when you look at the complex, it's the same. When you look at the temple in front of the pyramid, you see the columns. What is that? That's the mandapa. That's the hypostyle hall. And then the pyramid in the back is what? The sanctuary. I'm teaching you something. So when you see the pyramid on any Hindu temple, you should automatically say, you know what? That's the sanctuary. Okay, and then you see what? The mandapa, which is what? The hypostyle hall that's in front of the sanctuary. Okay, now this is Kanchi Temple, Kalas, and I'm not going to even try to go for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to even try to go for that. But again, what you see the Vendama, which is the pyramid, that's the sanctuary. And you see the Apis or Nandi, the bull, is looking directly at the Holy of Holies. Okay, and then you see the four lions. That's what they are. The four lions representing the 4 quarters of the universe, or the 4 quarters of the year. Equinoxes, and solstices. Okay, that's what that represents. Okay, again, so you see the Holy of Holies, you see the Vendama, and you see the 2 statues in front, which that's the laws of opposites, where you would see the 2 obelisks in front. Okay, let me move through. This is another temple, and you can see the front. That's the front where you see the mandapa. You see the hypostyle, you see the columns inside. What is it doing? It's leading to no different. That the mandapa is no different than the mortuary temple in front of the Great Pyramids. The pyramid is in the back. Okay, and so in this instance, though there's no king or queen in the pyramid, what you will find is a statue of the god being venerated. In the Egyptian or Nubian, in the Nubian temples, they weren't actually buried in the pyramid. They had a different burial area that was next to the pyramid. So when you go to Nubia, they weren't actually buried in the pyramid. So, but in the Egyptian pyramid, the sanctuary is the burial chamber where the king or the queen was buried. Now this is Myanmar. Okay, this is let me get some maps up in here. And then, we're going to get through this. Let me get some maps down here. And, Myanmar, man, is very powerful because this one area, oh, man, I didn't want that. I didn't want that. I copied it. I want to paste. I want to paste. Okay, that's what I want. Matter of fact, I think I left the one off I really need it. Go up here and get it. I don't want to be half-stepped. Here you go. I don't want to be half-stepped. We almost down here. We almost down at the end. We're going to move to the next video. I don't want to be too much longer, but I don't want to rush this neither. I want y'all to get a clear understanding. So you see, Myanmar is Burma. Okay, if you look up and you see Burma in the green, that's the second star from over from India. The first star over from India. You see it blink. That's Myanmar. That's in the Bay of Bengal. You see the Andaman Islands, and we're gonna get, as we get into the other ones, I'm gonna get off into the Twa, showing y'all who populating these areas. If I said I'm gonna show you, then I'm gonna show you. I'm showing you the exact blueprint of the Egyptian temple so I could prove hands down. How did they get it? Either they went to school in Egypt or the Egyptian priests and architects brought it to Naga, Kush, India, or both. Okay, which we know is the reality. It was both. Okay, so we looking at, many of the pyramid temple in Myanmar is mostly Buddhists. And I'm gonna show you Buddha, the woolly hair Buddha, so you know exactly. So if you start, listen, and we're gonna show you the deities. So when you go into the Holy of Holies and you see the actual deities that they worshiping, that ends the goddamn debate. See, we got to understand, we got to take back all this. We ain't just taking back Africa. Africa is most definitely the home of all African people, but our energy was what built Southern Asia all the way from goddamn Somalia all the way to goddamn Easter Island, all the way to the damn west coast of South America. That's where Peru, and so even so, that's the second stage of it. Okay, so here is one. This is the most magnificent temple in the Bagan area. It's called Bagan area. And in this area, it's over 3,000 Buddhist temples. Okay, that's very profound. I think I'm going to take a trip over here one day. You understand? Over 3,000. You get, and when when they light them up, it's almost unbelievable to have that many. And you see them, how grand they build the temple, and the top of the temple be lit up sometimes. They use gold, and you know what I'm saying? So this is a magnificent pyramid Buddhist temple. Okay, so that show you even the Hindu, the Buddhist, goddamn it, the Christian, the Jew, all of them took from the Nile Valley structure, pyramid temple structure, to construct a sanctuary. So again, looking at Burma from the top, we're gonna move through. You see the great temple in the back, and the one right here to the left is another one of the great temples. In the future, I'm gonna get down the pronunciation of these temples, but that's gonna cause me to have to learn a lot of languages, and I'm gonna do that so I could become even more prolific in what I'm doing. But the exact science of it, I'm not confused at all. Whether I could pronounce or not, I could go in, lay that blueprint out, and show you exactly where it come from. I could show you the ethnograph history, anthropological history of that nation, to show you that the African, the Gritos, Twa, you understand, Kushite was in the land before any so-called Oriental, which is a newcomer. Okay, totally a newcomer. Okay, again, looking, and you can see how beautiful it could be to witness and experience such an event, to go to Burma or Myanmar. Okay, so now the Karnak temple to the right is in India, and you see how magnificent. So these are two beautiful, African temples. You understand what I'm saying? These are African temples, straight up. Ain't no doubt about it. Okay, now the people of today have a later version of the African spirituality that was first in the land, but most definitely, you understand? Look at that, how beautiful that is. And look at the myths the only time I ever seen mist like that was when I was in Palenque in Mexico. And the trees, this is a tropical region. So listen to me, when I got there, it was like almost like it looked almost like a storm was coming, but it didn't come. You know what I'm saying? But the wind, and the trees just blow. You know what I'm saying? Almost like they just, you know what I'm saying? Like they just blowing in the wind, like they almost, not like they about to come out of the ground, but it's almost like whichever way the wind blow, they just blow and move. And the mist was in the trees while the trees was blowing. And I say, wow, this is really a mystical area. You know what I'm saying? So you can see right here that Myanmar is very mystical. You know what I'm saying? So it's no doubt that our people knew why they came to this area and constructed these temples. Let me move forward. This is also in India. It's called the Shore Temple. Okay? Showing you, that the first temple is of the small chapel. Okay, it's not as large as the other temples, but nonetheless, that's the small chapel. Okay, I don't know, it might have a couple, but that's the sanctuary. You see what I'm saying? You see the colonnade, like in Egypt, you might have a colonnade of sphinxes. You see what I'm saying? Where you got sphinxes or ram heads, and so here you got these is bulls. These is Nandis, okay, sitting out in front, leading up to the temple. Now this is chapel, okay. Now chapel again. Let me go back here so y'all can see where chapel is located. Matter of fact, I don't want to have to keep doing that. Okay, I'm gonna just go on and copy that and bring it on down, so we ain't got to go through all that. The Shore Temple is also in southern India. And like I say, when I get a chance, I'm going to tighten everything up. We'll come back to these temples, most definitely. And so just get familiar with the temple, do some extra research. You understand what I'm saying? Now, chapel is the third stop. You see, chapel would have been Vietnam, southern Vietnam, and part of it was Cambodia. Okay, part of it was Cambodia. Okay, so when you see the chopper, you see that's a chopper king. You see him sitting just like the Africans. See him sitting just like the Africans. And see, now this is a sister of Vietnam, of Malaysia. See, when you look at her and you see her nose and her lips and her woolly hair, you understand who the chopper is. And I'm going to get off in that deeper as I get off into Japan. When I get off into Japan, I'm going to get into that deeper. So when you see Naga, you've been wondering why all this time you've been burning that damn Nag Champa. That's Naga Champa. And you see Cham is also the same as Ham. Not to say or give no credit. That's a derivative of Ham, which means black. The black kings, the black gods. You either get calm or, as in comic or chemic. Okay, this is a understanding of blackness, all samurai. Okay, Sam. And then you got Ham, which is also Hammurabi or Bethlehem. Mohammed. You see what I'm saying? Not to give any credence to, but to show you that symbolically within that, that's a key to let you know that the root of all these sciences come out of Egypt, okay? Come up out of the black lands and of the black gods and the black kings and queens, okay? And so here again, now to the right, that's a champa, okay? That's a champa. And then many of the brothers, even if you watch a lot of these movies, you understand? I forget that one movie where they went over there. I think, no, it was Dead Presidents. Remember, we was watching Dead Presidents, and what's my man who be doing, who the comedian? God damn it, I hate when I be knowing something. Yeah, Abraham, you're right, Abraham. Okay, again, you already capped that, so that don't give no credit to none of that. It just show you that the root, once you understand that Ham is Egypt, it means Cush. Okay, the man don't exist. That means that they know they took from great knowledge of the Nile Valley. That the story is actually a piece of fiction. You understand what I'm saying? But the truth of where they got the spiritual out and they perverted it, they got it from Egypt. They at present. What's that comedian that played it? Chris Tucker. That's right. Goddamn, boy, I thank y'all, boy. Y'all, I'll go crazy. If you remember when they went over to Vietnam and they was getting the letters that said black man go home. See, y'all remember that black man go home? Because they knew that we was one and the same. Now, I didn't go get you, no, but that's an actual sister from out of Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia. They're still there today. You see what I'm saying? I didn't go get you no African from there. This is out of the, and I'm gonna show you deeper in the third part of the series. Let me move on. So again, now you understand that the Nag Champa, that's our incense. That's our, because we created perfumes and colognes and all the incenses of the world. You understand what I'm saying? Let me come out of it. So again, these are some of the temple of Vietnam Champa. So if you go to Vietnam, or these, we just come out of Myanmar. We just come out of Myanmar. We just come out of southern India. Went into Myanmar. Okay, I'm gonna quickly go into Cambodia. I mean to Angkor Wat, which is in Cambodia, but that's the biggest of the temples, and it'll take me much longer to go through that one. So this right here is in southern Vietnam to show you that this pyramid complex Kushite system was from Africa all the way into Southeast Asia. These is all in veneration of the mother culture coming out of the Nile Valley, and it went west. And if you saw my pyramid temples of West Africa into the Americas with the Olmecs, it's us, family. I'm just showing you. You got to wake up. That's us. So we stuck and not just see a pyramid and say, oh, that's a pyramid. No, nigga, break the motherfucking complex down. Go into the blueprint of the temple. And you know, this is where we showing and proving. We ain't goddamn it's just, no, we looking at not only the pyramid, the dimensions of the temple and the pyramid complex. You understand what I'm saying? And look and breaking down the particular areas of the temple, showing and goddamn proving it's the same temple. Okay, I'm sick of it. And so it's time to smash on these motherfuckers. Y'all didn't disrespect the mama. You didn't disrespect the mother Africa. And now we got to smack the shit out you today. You understand what I'm saying? We got to defend Big Mama now because we got the firepower to do this. And so when I give y'all this information, I need you to do your research and get out there just like the general and help me get on this goddamn battlefield and put a crushing on these Negroes out here because they misleading our people away from Mother Africa. And we cannot let them do this. We got to be adding energy to this ancestral power that we are receiving today. You understand? When we talk about history, we got to understand history is the energies of our ancestors. Like what I'm doing today and what you're doing today, you here for a cause. I'm here for a cause. That's our energy. We hope that what we putting our energy in today, our babies take from this video. You understand what I'm saying? Take the energy. You're going to take from and add information to what I've given you. And you're going to take that so that history and what we're doing is an extension of our ancestors. It's not just no words in a fucking book or nothing. You know, so our ancestors did it so that we would take from that even today. They know how powerful it was. They say, no matter what somebody try to do, once our babies come back and see these pyramids and break it down and see and get in detail and break these temples down and see that they actually the same, they're going to know we did this all the way from Africa, all the way through South Asia, all the way to the fucking Americas. They're going to see that we done this. So our ancestors' energy is, so this history is not just no goddamn words in no goddamn book. That's our ancestors' energies of past workings that they intended for us to pick up on the day and use the day to empower their children and their descendants. So when you look at this temple or champa right here, want to get over there. Just show you how beautiful, man. And all of this was done before a European even came into Asia or Africa. So you should not, just because you go on the internet and you hear all these stupid ass crackers talking about some goddamn aliens, they'll do anything other than give you the credit. Okay? If they can't have it, they're not going to give it to you. You could believe that. They have always taught that you are inferior people, that you could not achieve nothing past throwing a goddamn mud pie. That's all that you could do. So they're not going to get, so don't, when they go to talking that alien shit, to divert the credit from our ancestors. And the reason why that we don't really see that, how long we've been on the planet, the evolution and shit, to destroy the fact that we've been on the planet as gods and goddesses from day one. When you look at the ancient world, we were far more advanced in the age. So how in the fuck are we getting better when we was already the best in the ancient world? We had reached heights we can't even got there. We only wondering today. That's because we've been on the planet for and sometimes you can't just understand what millions of years could develop. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just up and understand what millions of years can develop, but our ancestors left a record that it was us and that we did not evolve. We've been here for millions of years. Let me move forward, family. This is Champa, the Nagas, beautiful, and this is Angkor Wat. You know what I'm saying? An extension of the Naga Kush Empire, the Mon Khmers, and I can clearly show you, and I will show you in the last one of Japan. You understand? You see that right there showing you that man right there, he's supposed to be at the top. And how in the hell he down at the bottom claiming what don't belong to him? You see what I'm saying? So as you can see, and then many of the places in South Asia should be far darker than that. But they don't want you to know, you understand what I'm saying? That will make it even more, you know what I'm saying, understandable that Africans rule the whole southern hemisphere. You understand what I'm the whole southern hemisphere belong to African people. Okay? Now let me see where I'm at. And I'm going to show you a quick, before I go in, I'll show you a quick, view of these Africans. And then I'm going to move into the second video, family. I'm going to take about a 5-minute break, moving, be in the house, and thank family for supporting me. You got to support me if you want me to come out here and teach the family. You see what I'm saying? I got to be you support me, I'm gonna support you, and I appreciate all your donations. You see, and so right here we looking at Thailand. We just went through that. This is a sister from Thailand. Now you can see the map is top side up. See what I'm saying? Like it's supposed to be, because civilization came down the Nile River. And so once you understand that Europe and Northern Asia is at the bottom and that the Southern Hemisphere is at the top, you see what I'm saying? So you see Thailand and you see that sister got a head full of woolly hair. Of course, it's been some interbreeding. Of course, we see some interbreeding. But you see, look at that. That's Malaysia. You see that woolly haired sister right there in Malaysia? And so that's going to lead. And so you see Japan not far from there, family. You see what I'm saying? So when I get ready to show you Japan, your mind should already be prepared to accept the fact. So these are the Buddhas. So when we were talking about the Buddhist temples of Myanmar, Burma, and Champa, these are the Buddhists. And when you're talking about those gods, those original gods that was in the sanctuaries of them Hindu temples and them pyramid temples, then you see right here that these are the deities. These are the Africans that woolly head, broad nose, thick lip, not all, but all the variation. These are the extreme phenotype of African people that cannot be denied. And you can see them earlobes where they stick them, whether it be large wood chips or whatever they put in there to extend that earlobe. You see that from India all the way to Africa, all the way to the old maps. You see that. I showed that. Okay, showing you the exact replicas from each African central point on this planet. I want to thank you for being here today. This is part one, showing you the granite temples of southern India, Myanmar, Cambodia. This is part one of this particular video. I'm going to come back much later once I advance it for you, touch it up, and you know what I'm saying? But the evidence is clear. Go do the research, go over it again and again, lay the blueprints out, study the different parts of the temple. So when you get back with me, you advance, you're more advanced than when you came on this video. And then I'll be ready to take you to the next level. Each time I'm gonna take you to the next level. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we're gonna be dealing with the African gods worship in India. It's powerful. Each one is more powerful than the next. Be back in 10 minutes. Black Power.